Good morning and welcome back. Um, Also, to clarify for the math, this time I did not do math boxes because you guys seem to be running a little behind on the assignments. So those math boxes are going to be for tomorrow. Okay, moving on with English language arts. I will be able to create an illustration that supports a text. Illustrations can both support and add meaning to what is written in a story. The style of the illustrations can enhance a story's mood. The content of the illustrations can clarify story details and, in some cases, add new ones. A New Life in Vermont on page 6, Communities Then and Now workbook. I want you to reread the text, pay particular attention to the illustrations. I want you to draw a line from the details in the text to the illustrations that depict these details. And so the way that you're going to do that is by going to Benchmark, opening up the story, and you're able to draw a line from the text over to the illustration. This is going to help you with one of the activities. So let me go ahead and get to New Place in Vermont. So here we have the illustration of, the kiddos are looking at mom and she's looking at this bowl right here. Where does this happen? Does it happen over here? Does it happen over here? Wherever you think that this is happening, you go to your tools, you grab the pen, and you're going to draw a line. So if it's over in this paragraph, you're going to draw a line there. If it's over in this paragraph, you're going to draw a line like that. This is going to help in your assignment. So let me get to your assignment. Well, so first, how do these illustrations affect how you interpret the events of the story? Actually, I might switch these slides because I think that this one is actually going to help you out to answer that question. So I'm going to switch these slides. You are going to describe the illustration. For instance, I said it's kiddos looking at mom who's looking at a blue bowl. Detail from the text. What did you draw a line to and from? Okay, so we know what the picture is. Where did you draw? And that paragraph or that sentence needs to go in this box. Now, how does the illustration support the text? Now, these are your words. What is happening here that supports the text? For instance, if the detail from the text is mom stared at a bowl, then you would say it supports the text because in the picture, mom is staring at a bowl, and in the text it says mom stares at a bowl. I hope that that makes sense. So there's only 2 pictures in this text. And so you're going to describe both of the pictures, take the details, and how does this support? And then you're going to answer this question. How do these illustrations affect how you interpret the events in the story? So how do those illustrations support what you know about this story? Okay. So sorry for switching those slides on you guys. So then what you're going to do, this is kind of fun, you're going to reread paragraph 9 and write or draw an idea for an illustration that would support the text. Think of something that highlights the character's feelings and their new way of life. So the way that you're going to do this is you can do a drawing right here, and that's totally fine. You can use all of these tools of shapes, lines, and there's a lot of different lines you could do. You could do curved lines, you could scribble, you could draw all over this, and that is totally fine with me. I like creativity. I love it when you guys draw. So you guys are totally fine to do that. If you would rather describe what you would draw, that's fine too. If you don't want to use these tools and draw something, you can absolutely just describe what you would draw. Or you could draw it on a piece of paper and describe what you drew. Now, that is your assignment when it comes to understanding illustrations. Now, we're actually going back to understanding suffixes. So yesterday you had done this practice, okay? You had all of these words and you were supposed to tell me the base word, the suffix, and what it means. So counselor, base word counsel, the suffix is or, someone who counsels. A suffix is a word part that is added to the end of words. So the suffixes er and or always means someone who does something. So I hope you remember doing this yesterday. If you don't remember doing this yesterday, I would go back to yesterday's and see what you might have missed out of that instruction. So identifying some suffixes, identifying the suffix and base word and what each means will help you to understand what the whole word means. This is important because you need to, as you're reading, it's really hard with a lot of different vocabulary. And if you're finding words that you don't know, it's a lot easier to break them apart. And now you know if it ends in an ER and an OR, it could mean someone who does something. So as an example, we have paragraph 8 in A New Life in Vermont. It is the last day of January, 4 weeks ago during Christmas break. They moved from New York City into a farmhouse Mammy rented from a realtor by phone. Miguel and Juanita's parents are getting a divorce, and Mammy has been hired to be a counselor in a small college in Vermont. Poppy is a painter who sets up department store windows at night in the city. Think about the word counselor. What does it mean? If you don't understand what the word means, you won't understand the kind of work Mammy does. And this is important to understand more about her and what she is like. So now that we know that a counselor is somebody who counsels or gives advice, right? Then that's important to know because it tells us a little bit more about who Mammy is, what she's interested in, and that she's interested in helping people, which is really nice. So your task is to read the Mission District. It's page 10 of your Communities Then and Now workbook. As you read the text, highlight or underline the words with suffixes er and or that mean someone who does something. Do not mistake verbs or adjectives that end in er. For instance, shyer. Like she is shyer than other students, or let me think of another one. She threw the ball harder. Those are action words or adjectives that describe a noun or a verb. That is not what we're looking for. We want someone who does something. So you're going to list the words, the base words, the suffixes, and write the meanings of each of these words. You could use the meanings of the base words and the meanings of the suffixes to help you understand the words, just like the previous chart, okay? So the first chart that you're going to do, this is how we're going to organize all of those words. We have paragraphs 1, 2, and 3. You're going to put the words that end in OR here, and you're going to put the words that end in ER over here. And that's how we're going to keep everything organized. There are 12 OR and ER words. Don't worry if you don't find all of them. That is fine. And so I provided you guys actually with this chart and with another chart because there are so many words. You can do as many as you like because I think that finding base word, suffix, and meaning for things that people do, something that someone does, is kind of easy. And I think that you guys can really get through this super, super fast. But if you didn't find all 12, don't worry about filling out all of these. If you only found 6, only fill out one of these charts, and so on. Okay, so this is another more interactive one. So here is like your worksheet, and here are your spelling words for the week. use the words above and place them in the sentence they belong to. So these are super easy to just drag and drop. So the blank decided to move the business he created to the Mission District. So that doesn't sound like an actor. Maybe a baker, because they might have a business. Visitor, no. Vendor, maybe. Sculptor, no. Players, no. Painters, maybe if they had their own business. Owners definitely have their own business. So what I would do is I would click on it, and once I see this cross arrow, that means I can move it. So I'm gonna drag it over right up here. Owners. Okay. I'm gonna go back so that way you guys can go ahead and do it. Okay. And always check. If you think that it might have been sculptor and you put sculptor in, and then you continue on and fill these out, and you think, oh wait, sculptor actually works for something else, just drag and drop it. No, it's easy to do. All right, so now I have some comprehension questions for you guys. So not only were you supposed to read through the Mission District and get all these words, but did you understand the story? Okay, were you able to understand what was happening in the story? And so now I have 3 questions that will test, did you pay attention to what you were reading to? You could always go back and read them again. So here are your 3 questions. How did the Mission District get its name? Not got its name, get its name. Proper grammar, Mrs. Stewart, I'm so sorry. How did the Mission District get its name? What are some of the things you can see and do at the cultural festivals there? So you're going to fill out things that people can do. And lastly, how did understanding the word so this is going to be a word that you put in your suffixes chart, okay? So how did understanding one of those ER or OR words give you an understanding of the culture in the Mission District? Okay. So it is Thursday. Oh my goodness, I had to think about it. It is Thursday. So you will go to Steam and go to Miss Eigel's room. So she said, because you guys had said that you didn't see any work on Google Classroom for Miss Eigel. She said that she put the week's worth of work, she's going to put those at the beginning of the week. So if you already did all the work when you checked in on Tuesday, then you're done, okay? If you did not, then I want you to go back to go to Miss Eigel's Google Classroom and follow the directions on her Google Classroom for you. Once again, thank you, Yvonne, for providing us with a super fun video. If you've watched 10 minutes already, if you've watched the whole thing already, then you could go ahead and skip this. Please make sure you are reading a half hour to an hour every day. You have your resources here. And lastly, thank you guys. And since you made it all the way to the end of the last video, I have a couple of games that we're going to play during our Google meetings. First priority is to answer any of your guys' questions that you might have, but I do want to take the time just to hang out with you guys because I miss you guys. And so I have some games planned. So once we're done answering questions, we'll get into some games. So have a wonderful Thursday, and I will talk to you guys at our Google meetings.